The Senate on Thursday passed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021, during which it also stripped the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) of the exclusive powers to transmit election results electronically. However, the House of Representatives could not pass the Electoral Act Amendment Bill because of some contentious issues. Even in the Senate, members of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) and those of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) were at each other's throats on the practicability or otherwise of transmitting election results electronically, a development that made other important provisions in the bill less prominent during the debate. While most APC members supported legal backings for transmitting election results, with a caveat, many PDP expressed reservations. The Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021 was passed after a clause by clause consideration of the report of the Committee on Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). The Red Chamber approved electronic transmission of results during elections, provided that the national network coverage is adjudged to be adequate and secured by Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) and approved by the National Assembly. The approval followed an amendment to Clause 52 of 3 by Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, APC, Niger, and seconded by Senator Ali Udeme, APC, Borno South. The committee, in its report, recommended that INEC may transmit results of elections by electronic means where and when practicable. Both lawmakers argued that the recommendation by the Committee for Electronic Transmission of Results would disfranchise some Nigerians in areas with poor or no network coverage. However, efforts to restore the earlier provision in the contentious section by Senator Albert Bassi Akpan, PDP, Akwa Ibom, through a motion was unsuccessful. Senate President Ahmed Lawa ruled against the Akpan's motion after voice votes, a situation that resulted in another rowdy session in the Red Chamber. The Senate President struggled to restore order, but the uproar continued, forcing the Senate into an executive session, which lasted for about 20 minutes. After emerging from the closed-door section, Senator Ayin Naya Abaribe invoked Order 73 of the Senate rule and called for division. Attempt by the Senate leader Yahya Abdullahi to appeal to Abaribe to withdraw the Order 73 was not successful. Abaribe demanded that the contentious clause be revisited despite a couple of further appeals by the Senate President for the upper chamber to continue with the consideration of the report. Lawan approved the request for division amidst call for voting on the retention of the earlier provision, but put forward by Senator Bassi. Our correspondent observed that the votes were along party line. Out of a total of 80 senators present, 28 who belong to the People's Democratic Party voted for Bassi amendment, while 52, all from the APC, voted against. 28 senators were absent. Those who voted for the amendment said INEC, as an independent institution, should not be made to depend on another authority in carrying out its mandate. Those who voted against argued that the rate of internet coverage in the country was still low, saying retaining the provision in the report would disenfranchise millions of Nigerians, especially those in rural areas. After the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, the Senate President in his remarks said there was no victor, no vanquish in this affair. Everybody did what he or she did for the full commitment and realization that what we want is one and the same thing, but the paths we have taken are different. We want an electronic transmission system for our electoral processes. However, we want to ensure that no Nigerian is disenfranchised in this process, and time will definitely come when all parts of Nigeria will have the coverage that we all need to deploy our technology to ensure electronic transmission of election results. This has come to settle the issue of what INEC can do and what INEC cannot. We have given INEC an Electoral Act amendment to enhance its performance. Senate spokesman Senator Ajibola Bashiru, while briefing reporters, said going by the provisions of the bill, electronic transmission of results during election was not sacrosanct. He said election transmission of results is just permissive, not compulsory. Nobody has said INEC must do electronic voting. We only give permission to them if they so desire to be able to do so, he said. Meanwhile, chairman of the Senate Committee on Inec, Senator Kabiru Gaya, APC Kano, also explained why he voted against the recommendation in the report. He said, if you prepare something and you later saw an improved version of it, you can go for it. There is nothing wrong if the chairman of a committee supports the amended version of a report he presented. It is not possible as it is to transmit election in one part of the country and refuse to do so in other parts. It has to be uniform, he said. Meanwhile, speaking on the development, a former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, said that the lawmakers' action would undermine the independence of INEC and the nation's democracy. This is a senseless, if not crazy, amendment, he said. It will undermine the independence of INEC. How can you make a decision of INEC subject to confirmation, concurrence, or approval of NCC, a body under the presidency? And what has the National Assembly, a legislative body, got to do with an executive decision of INEC? Rather than grappling at the straw, the senators should just do the right thing and allow INEC the discretion to introduce electronic voting and electronic transmission of results when appropriate, Jega said. On her part, the director, Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, Idiat Hassan, said, I personally do not think that this is an amendment. It is a proposal to further shackles INEC from its independence. It is not liberating. It is limiting INEC's powers and is completely unacceptable. It is basically like the Senate is now tying the INEC to the National Assembly apron string. It is retrogression and not a progression that Nigerians desire. Also, the executive director, Yaga Africa, Samson Itodo, said that the Senate simply voted against the Nigerian people. The Senate resolution will undermine and limit INEC's discretionary powers. When you undermine the Commission in this manner, the resultant effect is apparent vulnerability of the Commission to undue interference by incumbents, Itodo said. But responding, the PDP said it was shocked over the decision of the APC-led Senate to undermine Nigeria's electoral process by refusing to approve Nigerians' demand for electronic transmission of results without condition. The party, in a statement by its spokesman, Kola Olugbodiyan, also described the action of the APC senators as an atrocious assault on the sensibilities of Nigerians who looked up to the Senate for improvement in the electoral process in a manner that will engender free, fair, and credible process. It is outrageous that the APC and its senators, in their desperate bid to annex INEC, seek to route a statutorily independent commission to the approval of an individual masquerading in the Nigerian Communication Commission (NCC), an agency under executive control, in addition to extra endorsement of the legislature before conducting elections. This action of the APC senators is a direct affront, novel in its recklessness, and a defilement of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which clearly conferred operational independence to INEC to conduct elections free from interferences and regulations from any other agencies of the government, it said.